Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 15. Yeah, I'm sorry things were so sporadic, guys. I'm, I'm gonna try and get this whole schedule thing worked out. Let's just say yeah, the whole month's been kind of crazy. Probably, I'll probably address why at the end of the month coming up here, but yeah. But with that said, and like I said, I'm going to do the One Piece manga review tomorrow because I think that's probably the best and the only way I can handle all this, honestly. Um, with that said, My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 15. So first off, let's talk the new opening. And looking on any Twitter, I learned there's more than a couple people who don't necessarily like this new opening, and I couldn't disagree more because, I mean, okay, it's not as action packed or as it's true, it's not as action packed as many of the previous openings, but I do feel the visuals and the song choice really capture what the core focus of the show of what the show is because no what focus of the show, and no matter what it's and no matter what, like whatever the situation, it's always going to be on class 1A and UA with our heroes. But and so in that sense, but in even looking past that as well, it's honestly the perfect intro for these last two arcs in this season, where honestly, like okay, this like the from Shie Hassaikai Arc, that was definitely a very Izuku heavy focused arc, but with these last two arcs, um, he's still a part of it. And don't get me wrong, but at the same time, Izuku pretty much takes a major backseat to allow the other characters time in the spotlight. And in case of the arc after this current one, after this whole like provisional license, this like second provisional license exam arc, it's actually gonna put a certain earphone jack girl in full focus. Now, I guess one thing I can admit with it, and so like all of this, it's basically all representative in that opening. It puts the characters in full focus. So in that sense, yeah, I don't agree really with that people suddenly hate this one because it's true. It's again, it's not the most action packed one, but it still gives us the characters we love. It still gives us the focus that these are the of why we like the show because of these characters. And even if you don't like all of them, there's at least one or two characters you can pick in that crowd that you like, and they're on full display here. Um, Now, one thing I can admit is that there are a few, like, they're small, but there are a couple spoilers in this opening. Like they pretty much kind of ski past you a little bit if you're not fully paying attention. They kind of just kind of briefly touch on. They kind of just briefly show you spoilers, like don't really focus on it. But yeah, there are just a couple spoilers in this one. So if you want to say it on that, I can see it. But yeah, as far as like or dislike of this opening, I think it's really good. The now yeah now the opening not or sorry no the ending, that's definitely the more spoiled. That I can definitely see why people wouldn't like that because honestly it does get just in that opening there is so many character spoilers in that it's kind of funny. It's not even funny. Like there's so many characters there where it's like, yo, really really you're giving the anime only watchers all these character introductions already in this opening? Are you kidding me? Like so yeah, the ending is a little more iffier in that sense, but yeah, the opening is great. Honestly, I love it. Um, Aside from that, the episode officially starts with Gran Torino and the police apprehending Kurogiri. And one difference to note right off the bat between the anime and the manga with this scene is that they do a little bit of initial setup before jumping right into the scene of Gran Torino capturing Kurogiri, which I do like because it did feel like his capture was a little like rushed out in the manga. So it's good on that. The other thing to note though is that the capture of Kurogiri is actually going to take the series down a very unexpected but intriguing path, specifically tied to Aizawa. Like, let's just say from here, like Kurogiri becomes a pretty much becomes a pretty much key character in terms of giving like from Aizawa development. But I won't say any more there, and we'll definitely cross that bridge when we get to it. But those who saw my manga review on the subject I'm talking about will on this subject will know what I'm talking about. Now, obviously, one of the big reveals of this episode is that we get introduced to basically Gigantomachia, who is basically one of All For One's loyal followers, as well as the idea that with All For One incarcerated now, we're going to be seeing a lot more like of his followers popping up and rallying or testing and possibly rallying behind like Prince Shigaraki in the League. Now, in terms of Gigantomachia's design, though, it's I'm not gonna lie, his design in the anime is a little bit iffy compared to the manga overall because the anime kind of weirdly enough exaggerated a lot of key features with his design, like making his hair like full on spiky, whereas in the manga it was spiky, but it was also kind of more slicked back. Whereas yeah, the anime just went full on spiky, which kind of took away just a little bit of that distinct identity with him. Now he just looks like a kind of just every other anime character really, or the fact that they kind of enlarged his bottom jaw or the fact that they like his bottom jaw was a lot smaller in the manga. Here they just kind of full on enlarged it or something, and I think they even made it like a little more like boxy, I guess you could say too. But yeah, just little things like that kind of make him look make him just take away a little uniqueness from him, and just kind of make him look like a standard anime character. So yeah, a little bit of a problem there, but again, it's basically introduced us to a pretty much new character who's more than likely going to play a pretty much key part in terms of like Shigaraki's side of the story with My Hero Academia going forward. And yeah, let's talk about that scene where Mirio and Izuku basically have that heart to heart with each other, because even though the end played out differently, like things went exactly as Nighteye predicted. That in the end, Izuku would basically admit that Mirio was the more worthy successor. The only reason Mirio didn't take Izuku's offer is that, again, feeding into how great Mirio's character is, Mirio is always selflessly thinking of others, and any obstacles that befall him, he wants to ensure that pretty much anything that's blocking his path won't affect others around him. He's been like from the very moment we were introduced to him, he's always been moving forward this entire time, never looking back and always pushing ahead without regrets. Like even now, he's probably he's probably bottling some regrets. Don't get me wrong, but he always moves forward. He always champions on without even because he knows he wants to become a hero who can inspire people, but who people can be inspired by and basically feel who can be inspired by, when really. And the weirdest part is just by the way I've described Mirio, he has those qualities already in spades, and the saddest thing about Mirio is that in any other reality, he would probably be considered one of the most heroic people on the planet. And while he still is in this story as well, just the fact that he doesn't have his quirk or that it's been locked away in some way, it's going to be viewed in this society as a handicap, whereas which is a stark contrast to Izuku now. Like Izuku, he's basically battling with basically a lot of regrets, but he got to keep his quirk. So it's like, yeah, when you really compare the two, it is kind of night and day. And and Mirio really is kind of that hero we all need. Like he's the kind of hero that the whole world needs. Um, with that said, I'm not gonna lie, I would have preferred if the episode ended there with the conversation between Mirio and Izuku, but I do get it in the sense where we still do need those moments back at UA to reset the status quo, and basically just get us a feel for like everyone being back at UA again, just in some capacity, just being around the others, like for instance. Um, but and I do like how Izuku, Ochiko, and Kirishima come to their own like silent conclusions about how much further they need to develop and grow in order to truly learn, like in order to truly like have a feel of what it means to be a hero. Um, of course, it's still, of course, despite not ending how I wanted it to, it's still the episode ended in a very interesting way with All Might and Endeavor basically meeting up again with the latter wanting to talk. And honestly, don't take the tone or atmosphere of it too seriously, because honestly, it's going to be a much different conversation with Endeavor than you think, because there's little moments through the back half of this episode where you can definitely see something about Endeavor has changed, and that is going to carry over in their conversation for sure. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and list your Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Enemy, signing off. Later, guys.